This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY Digital Voice Net on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and on Zoom. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital Voice Net is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2 Foxtrot Juliet Hotel, and the name here is Frank. We're first to stand by for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, please give your call sign followed by the word break spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for breaking stations or for those who wish to disconnect this talk group. This is a directed net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. NetLogger is not required, and we will take additional voice check-ins. For more information about this net or to join the Zoom meeting, please visit us at stnydmr.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize a short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power stations, followed by NetLogger check-ins, followed by voice check-ins. We currently do have 4 stations checked in through NetLogger or have keyed up, after the 5-minute mark there. So the net would like to recognize KB2SIN Bill from Port Crane, N2NCB Paul from Owego, KC2HSU Chris from Whitesboro, and N2RWH Ed from Binghamton. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and location. So let's first take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now.
Kilo Charlie 9, Hotel Echo Kilo, KC9 AGK. Name is Brian, in and out tonight.
All right, and that would like to recognize KC9HEK Brian. Thanks for stopping by there, Brian. I have you checked in and out this evening. All right, let's open up for any stations that would like to check into the STNY Digital Voice Net this evening. Please call now.
N2 NRA, Cliff, Waverly, New York.
KB2SIN, in and out.
This is NE2W Ed in Binghamton, New York.
All right, and then I'd like to recognize N2NRA Cliff and NE2W Ed and KB2SIN Bill. Bill, I do have you checked in and out for this evening. All right, are there any other stations to join this evening? Please call now. Okay, nothing heard there, so let's kick things off. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. Okay, no questions for the net this evening. So let's go into comments. Just the net topic for this evening was if there's anything new and exciting to you in the world of ham radio, any new projects, maybe something new you're learning, or maybe an exciting new DXQSO that you're excited about. Anything that kind of was, has made you excited lately in the world of ham radio. So KV2SAN, thanks for stopping by. I see you checked in and out. So next on our list is N2NCB. Paul, how was your week?
Hello again, Frank and all, N2NCB here. Whole week wasn't too bad. Especially finally seeing the sun out. We were out and about a bit doing errands and a few other things. And as far as the DX stuff goes, it's not so much interesting as it was maybe a little confusing. I worked a station down in Grand Cayman Islands. That's just a little bit south west of Cuba. And on the QRZ page, it listed how you could confirm the contact with them. And one of those ways was direct mail. Send your $4 and an SEA stamp type of thing. And the only confusing part was the only thing on QRZ was his name, and he was in Cayman Islands. So I have no idea if you sent direct how he would get your card, but I just found that a little amusing. The bands have been kind of up and down, at least here at this location. A few nights I struggled just to make the one contact, and then the next night I think it was 15 stations that I worked. So, but it was certainly nice to see the sun out today. That's for sure. Back to you, Frank. Take care, all. N2NCB.
Yeah, very good there, Paul. And yeah, me and the wife actually met up with a couple other people there to try to finally get rid of the last Christmas presents we had. And yeah, I noticed the parking lot and Lake Street. I think we got the last parking spot on Lake Street. Everything was kind of packed. Seemed like everybody was out and about today. It was a really beautiful day. And yeah, kind of hard to send somebody a card when there's no address. All right. So, all right. Next on my list is KC2HSU. Chris, how was your week?
Yeah, good evening, Frank, everyone else on the net. KC2HSU here in upstate New York, Oneida County. And didn't get too much ham radio time last week, but definitely did last weekend during Winter Field Day. And had a blast with the crew in Elmira at their clubhouse up near the National Soaring Museum. We got their new network installed and used the M3FJP logging software networked, which was huge. So that was absolutely the most exciting thing in the last week for sure. And I actually emailed a couple of the crew down there because I love the idea of maybe having a remote control HF rig that members could use. Obviously, some people either don't have the money for HF or don't have really a way to put up an antenna depending on where they live. And I think their whole remote control ability of an HF rig would be a really cool value add for membership and just to the community in general. So we'll see where it goes. I already had someone reply back to me about an hour after I sent the email today saying, yeah, I got a rig, we can use it. So it looks like we got a big chunk of the battle done. So we'll see where it goes. Other than that, went to a hibachi place for dinner today for my sister-in-law, and that was kind of cool and exciting just because I'd never been to one before. So definitely worth the time. So something a little different. Send it back tonight, PC2HSU.
Hey, very good there, Chris. And yeah, um, I actually thought that they had a remote already up in Elmira. I've been up to. Usually, I spend my winter field day or summer field day. I've gone to the Binghamton Amateur Radio Club because I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in Tioga. I've gone to Binghamton Radio Club on Saturday, and usually I spend Sunday. I went to Elmira, so I kind of double dipped in both there. So yeah, I just wasn't aware. I know Binghamton has a remote. I just wasn't aware that Elmira does. And just by the way, I think I talked to you before too. I've been meaning to get a DMR hotspot actually up in the Elmira location as well. We do have a DMR and a YSF hotspot. They're basically linked together at the Copernic site, but nothing in Elmira. So, all right. Next on my list is N2RWH. Ed, how was your week?
And 2RWH here. Oh, not too bad here. I can say I had a few days off of work, but other than that, no DX really here. We're still picking up a little bit of the DMR stuff. We got to get our antenna for our HF station back up in the air on the one side. We found the rope that got frayed and broke, so maybe a good summer project because I got to trim some trees too. So, but other than that, not too much. I got to enjoy the sun a little bit here, so no complaints. Back to you, Frank.
Yeah, thanks, Ed, and yeah, you got a DMR to explore still. So definitely let me know if you have any additional questions or anything like that. Also on 7.3, there's a great group of people there too that could probably help answer a lot of questions that you might have. So all right, KC9HEK, Brian, he was checked in and out. So next on my list is N2NRA. Cliff, how was your week there?
This is N2NRA in the group. They were saying things new in ham radio. Japan launched a station on the moon, JS1 Yankee Mike Golf at frequency 437.41 megahertz was followed up there. I guess you have to have the equipment there that to translate what their signal is. But that was in the news. Worked on a generator today and got that working, a backup generator, and the mice wanted to make a nest in my air filter on the truck, so we got that cleaned out and new filter in there. Put in some dryer sheets, I guess, to discourage them. Caught you, Frank, on 147.39 Friday evening. Is that a Binghamton club there, Frank? That repeater? Had the HT turned on there and just happened to catch you. Back to you. This is N200A.
Hey, Cliff. Yeah, that's the 3.9 repeater. It always kind of keys out, and I know some other people know more about it. It keys out that it was a Carousel Radio Club repeater. I'm not aware of a Carousel Radio Club. I think it might have been a club that uh, started to get started up, but didn't quite make it there. But I do know that one. I like that one because it's the one I can listen to without any waterfall. Usually I have to. A lot of the other repeaters for me are in Binghamton or that Broome County area, and I always kind of get waterfall. Either that or I go over to Chemung, and I still get waterfall because I'm a bit of a distance away from the more popular repeaters. But if anybody else knows the background on the 39 repeater, I believe it's the 14739. Yeah, the 14739 repeater. Please call now and fill us in because I always forget what the history of that one was. Okay, nothing heard there. So I guess it is kind of more of a mystery of what the Carousel Radio Club repeater is, but yeah, as far as I know, it's not really associated with the Binghamton Amateur Radio Association. Um, and yeah, it's in Tioga area, but I don't think there's any particular club to it. So hopefully I answered your question there, Cliff, but I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, fine business there, Frank. Thanks for checking that out. And yeah, enjoy the warm temperatures today. The Toxicology Phil there said we're going to have an early spring, and I hope he's right. This is STNY Ray back to net control.
All right, thanks, Cliff. And yeah, I second that as well. I'd like an early spring. I mean, knock on wood. We've had a pretty mild winter, and I'm glad of it. Hopefully that carries out all the way through until spring finally hits. So, all right. Before I get to my next station, let me just take another standby. I do see that there's also a station on NetLogger, KB2 at GGF. I'm not sure if he would like to check in or not, but if he would like to check in, or any additional stations that would like to check in this evening, please call now.
Kilo Charlie 2 Hotel Sierra Uniform with a question for the net at your convenience.
All right, and I have KC2HSU, Chris, with a question. So far on my list, I just have one more station, and I'll be at the bottom of my list there, Chris. So let me first go to NE2W Ed. How was your week there?
Well, again, Frank and everyone on the net, not a bad week. The weather was good and looks like it'll be even better next week. What interests me, websdr.org, websdr.org, kind of neat. You can listen on radios all over the world. It's pretty cool. You can also, I'm surprised more stations don't use it to listen to themselves. For example, if you're transmitting, go ahead and tune up a station in Florida or California and see what you sound like. Other than that, not much else going on. Yes, Barra does have a remote. They have a remote for HF and one for VHF for 2 meters. So they have two. And the Carousel Radio Club also has one at K2OQ. They've got a remote in Owego. It's for club members only. It's another one up in Rochester. I guess two up in Rochester. One in Fairport and one in Monroe. It's people can put their HF rigs and hook them up to the RC Forb client, which is really good. I know when we operate Marconi Day, which is coming up in a couple months, if the station set up at the train station there, I can pull out my Android, and with the RC Forb client, I can access the remote up at Copernic and actually contact the Marconi Tower station, which I'm standing next to with my phone. Back to you, Frank. This is NE2W.
And thanks there, Ed. And just by the way, because you didn't mention the Carousel Radio Club, you said I'm not sure if you meant the club members only for Vera or the Carousel Radio Club. But I'll send it back to you. Did you have any information about like the history of the Carousel Radio Club, or as far as I know, I haven't found any like web page or Facebook or anything like that for that. I'm not really sure if it's what the club actually is, if there is an official club for that. But I'll hand it back to you there, Ed, to see if you know some more background on that of that repeater and that site, basically.
Negative, Frank. I know that they actually have two remotes. They have a TS2000 and a K3, both out of Owego. I know the trustee. I want to think what's his call sign. K2CM, I believe, is the trustee for the K2OQ license. But other than that, a lot of that happened years ago, and perhaps at 8 o'clock on the BratNet, we might get some answers. Over, NE2W, back to net.
Okay, thanks, there, Ed. And yeah, if I have some time here after the night, I might try to at least tune that in to listen to see if there's some more answers. I mean, I know where it's located and everything. I don't want to give any locations out, um, but yeah, I wasn't aware. Well, yeah, I might have been aware that there was a remote there, but I just never saw any like member dues or how to join the club or anything like that. So, it'd be good information to know, especially if there was anybody else who was interested in maybe using those remotes or using the site or something. If there was some membership dues or something that they could sign up for. So, all right, KC2HSU, Chris, you had a question there, so I'm gonna send it over to you.
Yeah, thanks to the station to share about some of the other remote transceivers that are out there. That's definitely something I want to look into because I don't own an HF rig, and definitely is something I'm kind of interested in, whether it's one of those or if we get one set up in Elmira for sure. Yeah, Frank, the only question I have is it looks like everyone's coming in through hotspots, so I was just wondering if you or anyone is aware, is the Southern Tier 31367 talk group carried full time on any repeaters? I don't expect you to know that off the top of your head, but I was just curious if there's any repeaters with a statically assigned, or if it's primarily a hotspot talk group at this point. That's about it. KC2HSU.
All right. To the best of my knowledge, I know in the Southern Tier there's no DMR repeaters in the area. I do know in Upstate there are quite a few, and I want to say that the Southern Tier, I'm not sure if any of them are full-time static. I believe a lot of them would be dynamically assigned, but I'm not sure if Chris KC2HSU might have some more or yeah. So I'm talking to there. Just ask a question. I'm not sure if anybody else on the net, let's put it that way, might have some more information on if there's any repeaters in the upstate area, or just repeaters in general that have the STNY talk group 31367 as a statically set talk group. But I'll open it up. If you do have some more information, please call now.
W3TEZ Portable, Buffalo, New York, with a quick comment.
Yeah, W3TEZ, Ryan, I'll have you checked in here. Go ahead with your comment, and then if you wanted to give any additional comment about how your week went or about the net topic of anything new and exciting in the world of ham radio for you, fire away there.
Yeah, I'm checking in late. This is W3TEZ. I just got back home here a little while ago. I do have this talk group open full time on this repeater here, 444375 down in Colvin on time slot 2. I have it set as static, so I wanted to jump in there and let you know.
Okay, thanks there, Ryan. And sorry, just to confirm, you said 44437 repeater.
444375, and I got this talk group open full time, set as set as static on time slot 2, and then we also have a cluster on time slot 1. We call it local 2, and the external talk group for that is 313276. So if you're got a repeater on here and you want to tie into us on local, you would actually go in the drop down menu where the clusters are and look for WNY cluster.
Okay, very good there. And yeah, new information that I did not know about. So I'll send it back to you there, Chris, KC2HSU, see if Ryan answered your question there.
Yep, that sounds good. I may have talked to you, Ryan, before. I believe you've been on here before from Buffalo. So hello again. If not, then hello for the first time. Yeah, I'm all set. I know that there's a little bit more on maybe the fusion side than anything down there, based on my travels. But we'll see. We'll see. We can talk soon and getting DMR online down there. It'll be definitely exciting to add the feature if there's enough interest. So thanks again. KC2HSU back tonight.
All right, well, thanks there, Chris, and thanks there, Ryan. And yeah, I do know I've heard from some local hams that there is support. There are a lot of hams in the area would like to see a DMR repeater get up in the air. However, getting a DMR repeater one would require some funding, some money, and quite a bit of money. I think especially if you were looking at new, I know Bridgecom makes a nice one that also can do a duplex, but yeah, it's about, I want to say 26 or 2700 for it, so a good chunk of change there. And then additionally, we would have to find a location. You know, is there existing feed lines? Is there an existing duplexer? You know, things along those lines, and also the frequency too. I've heard that, you know, we have a lot of analog repeaters in the area, and a lot of them are using up a lot of the VHF band. So it'd also be a question of, is there any existing analog repeaters on VHF that we can kind of repurpose as a DMR repeater? One thing I would like to know myself is I believe that the DMR repeaters with an MMVVM board can additionally be configured that if you come in on analog, it broadcasts out on analog. If you come in on digital, it rebroadcasts digital. Anything coming in through the internet obviously is going to come out as digital. But I'd like to actually confirm that, because that seems to be one of the very common, I guess, hang-ups a lot of people have in the area, is that if we put up a DMR repeater, well, you can't talk analog on it. But I believe you can. So I know in my PiStar hotspot, there actually is some FM configuration settings. I believe that's only for the serial ports of hotspot. So I haven't been able to mess with that, but I do know it can transmit analog because it can actually give CW for your call sign every 10 minutes or however long you want to configure it. So it can do FM as well. So. All right, I have reached the end of my list, so let's take another standby to see if there's any additional stations that would like to join the STNY Digital VoiceNet. This is W2FJH. Please call now.
KB2SIN back in the net. W2FJH N30JP.
All right, and then I would like to recognize KB2SIN. Thanks for joining us again there, Bill. And N30JP, Nick. Okay, so first let's go up to KB2SIN. Bill, how was your week there?
Good evening, Frank, and everybody else on the net. Oh, not bad. I'm just dealing with the new puppy. That's a handful right there. I did notice the question was any new facets of amateur radio, and not really. I've just been doing a lot with PSK 31, making a lot of contacts. I still need Alaska, Hawaii, Maine, and Delaware, and I don't want to do it over DMR. I want to do it through PSK or sideband, but DMR is too easy to scoop up those four. So I try to make it a little hard on myself there to get what I want to get. I already have the ARL worked all states, but QRZ worked all states. I need those four. But other than that, not much going on. But good to see some sunshine today, and I guess we're going to see it for the rest of the week, which is really good. So hopefully spring is around the corner, but it's still too early to tell. KB2SIN, back to you, Frank.
Hey, very good there, Bill. And yeah, I've noticed a lot of I guess contests and everything that DMR and some other digital voice modes are always kind of eliminated on it. It seems like we've made it too easy to make long distance contacts, so we've actually gotten ourselves eliminated from contesting. So, all right, N30JP, Mick, how was your week there?
Oh, good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net. Oh, week was good. My daughter started a new job Monday. So, well, it was not uncommon for our grandson to be dropped off here because we're on the same bus route. But since she can't work at home, our grandson was brought over here in the morning, about 8 o'clock, quarter after 8, and then I would get him on the bus, which is not a problem because I'm up anyway. And he's into Harry Potter, so we've been doing some things down here in the basement and making some kind of stick or a broom handle he can fly on, and we've been pretty busy here. I did work a little field day last week. Not a whole lot. I did some digital. I was pretty busy. But I think DMR was part of field day. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that in the rules. And then a friend of mine, he's got a big Yagi antenna, and he's got a triplexer. So you can run 3 stations, 3 different frequencies off the same antenna. So we stopped over there a little bit. I took my wife up there to see the setup. But, yeah, just listening here to Ed talk about these radios that people can remote into. That's a great idea, especially for people that have just become generals. And what you run into, of course, is the cost of the equipment, putting up antennas, and what do I do? Well, this way here, they can remote into this other equipment and actually see how HF is done. So it's a great program. There's nothing like that around here in Western Pennsylvania I'm aware of. Let me get a second. Yeah, that just seems like a great feature to operate, to allow for the area to use and operate. I heard Ryan talking about a site there in the Buffalo area. I just brought up a web page, WNY-Digital Network, and then of course it breaks down. I'm going to be heading up to Chautauqua tomorrow morning. The old fishing rods are calling, so I want to go chase the steelhead around for a couple of days around Lake Erie. But I'm going to bookmark this page here and save it. So maybe if I get a chance to look at it. Yeah, there's always something new with digital. That's for sure. It keeps going. It's just not real big around here yet. I'm not far from Pittsburgh, but you just don't hear too much about it. So you got to keep it active. That's about all I got going on, Frank. Nice weather. It's a little warmer here than further north, but maybe 7 or 8 degrees, which isn't a big deal. So I'll turn it back to you, Frank. W2FJH M30JP.
And thanks there, Mick. And yeah, I'll have to check the winter field days if they did mention anything this time around about DMR. So that'd be interesting if digital voice has also made its way into contesting there. So, all right, I've reached the end of my list once again. So let's take another standby for any additional stations that would like to check into the STNY Digital Voice Net this evening. Please call now. All right, another herd there. Yeah, that might have been hopeful. I think if we had one more station, this would probably be the largest net we've had for the digital voice net here. That would have been 10 check-ins plus a net control. But let's open it up for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with any additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, but I did see N2NRA Cliff. I'm not sure if he was just kerchunking to bring back the talk group or if he had a question, but I want to send it over to you if you did have a question just before I shut down the net. So N2NRA Cliff, just checking if you had a question there or just kerchunking.
Frank, the net went dead here. I didn't understand why after KB2SIN called in. So, I was just checking the system out down in the basement of the hotspot, and seems to be working. So, with that, we'll turn it back to you, W2FJH. This is N2NRA.
Okay, thanks there, Cliff. I just wanted to confirm you didn't have a question. I was just about to close on the net, so just want to make sure you made it in there. So, all right, with that, we will be closing down the net. So I'd like to thank Bill, Paul, Chris, Ed1, Brian, Cliff, and Ed2, Ryan, and Nick. Big group this evening for stopping by. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FJH, and I'll be listening.